Hello everybody, welcome to R&B Reviews. I'm your host Rob, and today I'm joined once again by Darren.
Greetings!
Hey, welcome back to the channel, Darren.
Thank you, Rob.
You're welcome, great to have you back. So today we decided to do, I know we're a little bit late on this, but we decided to do a video on the Disney Plus series Wandavision, which is a show. It's a spin-off of the Avengers, kind of, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe that focuses on Wanda, played by Elizabeth Olsen, and Vision, played by Paul Bettany. Now, I just want to let you know we're probably going to do some spoilers, so if you haven't seen all 4 episodes or anything from the show, you may not want to watch this video because I have a feeling we are going to go deep into conversation with the show. So,
and you should have, because it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, well, we just got done watching the 4th episode, which is a game changer. But before we get into the 4th episode, I think we should talk about what we were thinking as we were watching the first 3 episodes, Darren. I'll start. I really liked how this is a good tribute to the old, shows from like the 60s and stuff. And I haven't seen Age of Ultron since it came out, but my mom, she's a big Marvel fan. She says there's a scene in the movie where Wanda mentions that she learned English by watching old American sitcoms like I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched. I don't know if that's true or not because I don't remember. So that might be it. But each episode up to this point has been focusing on a sitcom. The first episode was, I thought it was based more on I Love Lucy, but I have a coworker that said it was based more on the Dick Van Dyke Show. And then we got the second episode, which was based on Bewitched. And then we got the third episode, which is kind of like Brady Bunch, Partridge Family. And I gotta say, the cast has surprised me. They actually do comedy very well, especially Paul Bettany as Vision. And Amazing, yeah.
Amazing.
And I think they're doing wonderful. Like, Elizabeth Olsen was great as the sort of Elizabeth Montgomery in the second episode of Bewitched.
Yeah.
I thought performance-wise, it's a good homage to the old shows, and they do the movements like almost like the sitcoms very well and everything.
Yeah, it's absolutely mind-blowing how they just echoed all that era in it. I mean, you really do feel like you're watching Bewitched and the Brady Bunch, and it's just amazing what Marvel has really just done with these characters. I mean, who would have ever expected just Scarlet Witch and Vision with just going from black and white to color? I mean, it's absolute masterpiece so far.
Yeah.
I just wish the episodes were longer.
Oh.
You know, I just really do. I expected, really, my first impression was like, okay, Marvel's doing, something for Disney Plus. They got to be like an hour long, and they're not. They're a half an hour.
Yeah.
And when I think of half an hours, you do think of those sitcoms, and I thought it was going to pick up like after the first 2 episodes. But that's not the case.
Yeah, well, actually, I feel like the shows have been, it's hard for me to believe that they're a half an hour because I'm like, wait, the show's over? It feels like it's only been like 15, 20 minutes,
Yeah.
They go by really fast and everything.
Yeah, what's wonderful is each episode wants you wanting more. And that is just wonderful marketing upon Disney and Marvel themselves. I really do like that you cannot binge watch this show, because every week, it just leaves you wanting something more, and you're just happy to just turn on the TV and go back to it and be immersed in this just wholly different world of Marvel. It's just classic meets unbelievable MCU, and I'm just totally blown away by it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't gone online and read any reviews when each episode aired, but my mom she's with these message groups, and I remember some early reactions because they put the first 2 episodes together as people were disappointed that they couldn't binge watch the show right away, because I guess that's how a lot of shows on streaming services are. And honestly, I'm wondering, I was wondering if people don't have the patience to watch, like when we were growing up, if you wanted to watch a TV show, you had to watch 1 episode a week. I'm wondering whether people just don't want to do that anymore. But I do kind of agree with you. I like, getting a week off to think about what I saw.
Yeah.
And putting it all together.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not only that, but you actually want to go through the movies again and find out. You know, you will get like little clues here and there. I mean, there's clues like all over WandaVision about like what can happen for the future, what was in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so wonderfully done.
Yeah. Because I gotta admit, when I first saw the trailer, I thought, oh, it's just a TV show where they're gonna pay tribute to homages. It's not. It's much more than that. And
Much more.
when I was watching the first 2 episodes, I saw clues, and you're like, in the first episode, right before the credits, there's a scene where somebody's watching Wanda. You don't know who it is. You don't know if like Wanda has been kidnapped and she's on like some sort of brain machine and they're watching her. You don't know if this outside source is controlling her. You don't know if she's controlling it.
Right.
And then the second episode, you see more clues. Like you see that airplane drone. And
it's in color, and the rest of the whole picture is in black and white.
Yeah,
so.
But you don't really know. And then by the third episode, you see a lot more. Like one of the characters is not who she is, and then by the time, now here's the thing, I kind of wish we did this video before we watched the 4th episode, because the 4th episode is a complete game changer. You see what is going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And what goes on is just unbelievable.
Yeah, because I mean, it's fun because again, I don't read reviews, but my mom's been on message posts and she's been telling me, people think, this organization has her kidnapped, but now with these theories, I don't think Wanda has been kidnapped. I think she's just tired of life and she wants to go somewhere by herself, and she wants Vision back, and she wants to be in this idolized town where that's similar to sitcoms where there's no drama. I mean, if you watch old episodes of 60s sitcoms like Bewitched and I Love Lucy, it's very clean. If there's a problem, it gets fixed right away and nobody gets killed, nobody gets hurt.
Yeah.
And I think that's what she's wanting. I think, she's controlling all this. I don't think she has been kidnapped by anybody. What do you think?
Right. Yeah. Like when all the bad comes to Westview, she's very quick to just get rid of everything that would cause harm or unhappiness to her. And we really don't even see her Scarlet Witch powers. That red, it's totally out of it. But we do see little things with just the color red, and that mixing that with the black and white, that gave us a lot of clues. Most of those clues were red, and I mean that echoes the Scarlet Witch's character, but it also can echo a whole lot more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, you're more in tune with the comic books than I am.
Yes.
Like when I first saw the Sword logo, I didn't know what Sword was. I thought maybe Sword was like, that's another thing. There's commercials where they make fun of Hydra and Tony Stark and stuff. But anyway, when I saw Sword, I thought Sword was like a Hydra, but it's not really.
No,
not.
They're mainly like intergalactic police is what they are in the comic books. But so far, it's really been like them more like a Earth aspect than outer space. So I would be really curious to see how they're going to unfold that, because right now Sword is on Earth. And we haven't went to outer space yet with them, which could be coming pretty soon. Now, I've been on the message boards, watching other YouTubers, and Elizabeth Olsen herself has dropped quite a bit of clues herself. And I mean, I'm sure it's okay with Marvel for her to do so,
They
because
probably do it for publicity.
Oh yeah, for publicity and just for fandom, just constant, just fandom, getting everybody just so revved up and excited for what's to come next on WandaVision. One of the things that I was watching with Elizabeth Olsen was she was advertising like the different comic books that different stuff happened with Vision and the Scarlet Witch. The House of M comic is where really Scarlet Witch has her children and with Vision, and then afterwards they're taken away by Mephisto, which he definitely is Marvel's devil, so to say. And if you did recall, Dottie, which is played by Emma Caulfield, aka Anya from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, she said, well, like the devil's in the details, and then Catherine Hahn, says, well, that's not all. That's not the only place that he is, or something like that. And that was a major clue right there, because Wanda and Vision, you think about, Vision is a symbiote, and plus he's dead to begin with. So Wanda actually has to be creating him, in this reality, which really brings me to think that we're going to see Quicksilver appearance from him pretty soon, because if she can resurrect the dead, what better person to resurrect than her own dead brother next. Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be something. But getting back to Catherine Hahn, her character name is Agnes. Now, in the comic book, Agnes could be short for Agatha Harkness, which actually mentors Scarlet Witch, but I think she has some ties to Mephisto as like a servant too. Because in each episode you will notice that Catherine Hahn is wearing a brooch. And that is very true to Agatha Harkness in the Avenger comic books. So, I mean, there's just so much to play with it. But we also see that Catherine Hahn, I mean, she's young. Agatha Harkness in the comic books isn't, but we also saw that from Marissa Tomei, playing Aunt May. Aunt May is an elderly woman in Spider-Man. So Marvel does really, they're playing with ages, they're playing with just everything. Really, I mean this is their playground is WandaVision is what I feel like. And I mean we are along for the ride every week, and it is just absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, I know early on people were arguing when this takes place because Vision is in there, and as you know, in Infinity War, he died. I read that there was actually a post-credits scene that got cut from Endgame where Vision's body gets pulled out by somebody, and I'm wondering whether that ties in, like whether that was Wanda that just took the body and is taking him to this imaginary place that she creates and or what. But I know a lot of people were arguing about when this takes place, and I know there actually, according to my mom, some people were disappointed that the show in the beginning was in black and white.
Right.
Which is, I think, kind of, I mean, they must not have seen any of these classic sitcoms that's being paid tribute to. But I gotta say, I do kind of, now it might be me, I do wish, how can I put this? I love the homage, and I love, that Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen can pull off this tribute to 60s sitcoms very well. I kind of wish the show was all tributes to 60s sitcoms without this whole thing going on with Sword and stuff like that, because I think they do it very well, and I didn't know Paul Bettany had it in him. I guess my mom said that, he was a stand-up comedian in England before he went the movie route. Yeah.
Wow.
And I guess some people compared him to John Cleese, but I mean, he can do, like the drunk act in the second episode, he can do it very, very well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know he had it in him, and it was just, I just love that aspect more. I know you probably like the clues and everything, but I just love the aspect of the whole sitcom tribute thing, because they do it very well. I mean, the whole sets, the look, the physical comedy, and the second episode did feel, even though it's not a Bewitched show, it did feel like a Bewitched show. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. And I mean Elizabeth Olsen, like she played Samantha, but she didn't, because there was no like. Nose, twitching or anything like that. I mean, it was just totally her powers. But we didn't see any red again.
Yeah.
You know, which was just really cool, and it paid a lot of tribute to that era because those effects wouldn't be available then.
Yeah.
And I mean that was really cool. But we have this whole like illusion of Westview that we're suspecting that she's creating, or maybe Mephisto is creating from beneath. And then we also have that beekeeper, which is on everybody's mind. Like, why is there a beekeeper? Well, in the comic books, it's Spider-Man's villain Swarm is what I'm thinking, and that's how they're going to integrate this whole MCU together. And we also kind of have like Doctor Strange elements too. And Mephisto does enter because Mephisto is a big part of Doctor Strange and Thor. I mean, he's like their main villains. A main villain to them, and it's just, and then I also saw like a Grim Reaper helmet in. I mean, there's just clues everywhere. But Westview is definitely an illusion. They're finding out that it doesn't even exist. So whether this is created by Wanda or not, but getting back to the comic books, there is a part where Vision and Scarlet Witch do embark on this vacation or another life, and that is called New Salem. So it could be New Salem in disguise, or it could be Agatha Harkness, aka Agnes, Catherine Hahn, that is also helping Wanda create this this other dimension. This dimensional realm, this magical realm, where Sword can't figure it out to begin with. But what I do like is we do have Monica Rambeau, which a lot of people don't know that she was in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, she was the little girl.
As a little girl. So there's just so much going on with her, and I mean she does piss off Wanda quite a bit, and then we see more of her backstory. And then other characters enter. Kat Dennings as Darcy Lewis, which you'll recognize her from Thor. And then Randall Park, I think, plays Jimmy Woo. He was in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So we got all this coming together. And way before WandaVision ever premiered, I watched on YouTube that there was this cast party, and they were interviewing the cast, like what they hoped that fans would expect from this, all that. And Benedict Cumberbatch did make an appearance in that. But yeah, Tiana Paris is wonderful as Monica Rambeau. She has a lot of acting chops. I'm really not sure what she was in before. Do you?
No, I'm not.
Do you know?
With her. No.
I mean, she's amazing, and Marvel's using her. I mean, it's amazing. But this is gonna link into so much in the MCU.
Yeah.
With so many shows to come.
Yeah, and I gotta say, the supporting characters that keep appearing in every episode as different characters, I kept thinking to myself, I'm wondering whether they're kidnapped characters or what the deal is, because they keep reappearing and stuff like that. But I think the fourth episode, they're actually, some of them are actual agents of S.W.O.R.D. and how they got in there, and whether Wanda's controlling them, or what the deal is, or whether they're working behind her back, try to figure things out. Because there's one scene in episode 3 where two of the characters, Catherine Hahn and one of the other neighbors, are talking, and it looks like they're up to something, and you wonder whether they're planning something behind Wanda's back to try to get out, or to try to get her to calm down or what have you. But I personally starting to believe she has not been kidnapped. I just think she wants to get away from everybody and go to this, because you know how I have people that say they would like to go visit another decade in the past, lately I've had a lot of people say they would love to go to the 50s because things were simpler then, all this other stuff. And I'm wondering whether
something.
that's what's going on with Wanda. She's just tired of all the carnage and she misses Vision and she wants to go away from everybody and just create this alternate world where she can be like the sitcoms that she idolized, you know?
Yeah, and then just getting back to Sokovia, like how your mother said, like on the message board, you know, she learned English from that. I mean, she probably watched really all those sitcoms. I mean, I'm sure that's what she was getting at, and she's like, oh well, they were happy back then. This is how life should be, you know, not everything that happened in her reality.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, it's just amazing, just everything. And then Monica Rambeau also, like, paying tribute to that era. There was a Captain Marvel kind of character, so she could be like the next Captain Marvel, even.
Yep.
But in WandaVision, we haven't seen anything of her powers yet. I mean, it's going to be so interesting to see what Monica Rambeau is like towards the end of the series. And I mean, there's just so many different clues with the trick-or-treating and the original costumes. And if you look on Internet Movie Database, you could see like that episode is slated, and that's in the 5th episode, so that's to come because we're at the 4th episode. But what I really loved was how once Monica Rambeau was thrown out of Wanda's Westville, the whole screen went from standard to wide vision. I mean, that was remarkable on Marvel and Disney's part to do that, because now we know that we are in the MCU. It is the present, and that was the past. And they do use that format like throughout, like even in the 4th episode. But just hystericalness. One of my favorite things from episode 3 was that stork. I mean, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
I gotta say, do you think the 4th episode was too early? I think I would have liked to seen one more sitcom based episode before we got to see what's really going on, Because I mean, they show like in the 2nd episode, somebody's trying to contact Wanda through the radio, and then obviously Monica broke through in the 2nd and 3rd episode, and there's the whole airplane thing that she found in the 2nd episode. Do you think that was too soon? Because like I said, I would have loved to have seen one more episode before we saw what's really going on.
Yeah, I mean, I was falling in love with just the era episodes.
Yeah,
like I really I agree, and then I disagree with you that we should just have like that shouldn't have happened. That it should be apart from the MCU, and we should just fall in love with these characters on their own. 70, 60, 80, sitcom. But we do, and I would love to see more of that. I do agree with you, but then again, it wouldn't be linking to the MCU.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I just feel like this 4th episode where they show what's really going on, I would have liked one more sitcom episode before they introduce the whole backstory before they break in or try to break in and everything.
Right, but everything does make sense. The clues are a little bit unraveled. Everything does make sense in episode 4.
Yeah.
And especially that voice that is calling to Wanda through the radio. I don't think we should get that spoiler.
Well, I did warn everybody beforehand. Before the video.
Yeah, we got to hold back on some things. Especially where episode 4 begins after one big event. So I think we'll just save that.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, Darren, is there anything else you want to add before?
Oh my gosh! Just keep watching WandaVision, and we got this guy, that can enter pretty soon too.
Oh.
Magneto, because we all know that Magneto is Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver and Polaris's father. Well, we might not all know, but our fanboys sure do. I mean, we could see an X-Men in this possibly. It's just crazy. Now let's just talk about what is to come from Marvel. That after WandaVision, which is supposed to wrap up in March.
Yeah, there's 9 episodes, right?
Right, there's 9 episodes. There was 6 to begin with, so I wouldn't be even surprised if they extended, or if we see an hour episode, the last one. It's unbelievable, like what the masterminds at Marvel have in their heads for the MCU. Yeah. So we have Falcon and the Winter Soldier next.
And then after that's Loki.
Loki, which is going to be pretty cool. Kevin Feige, he really laid it all out for everybody what's going to happen on Disney Plus.
And then there was a What If show.
A What If show, where just the whole MCU is turned upside down through just animated spectacular. Just it's an animated spectacle. I mean, it just looks amazing what they're doing with the animation and just the different portrayals of the characters and how their universes are switched. I mean, that's going to be really something to see. And I don't know if we're supposed to know this yet, but it has been linked on YouTube, a She-Hulk teaser. And also we have Miss Marvel, which is Kamala Khan. She's going to be entering the MCU pretty soon.
So it sounds like these are 1-season shows. They may not be back for 2 seasons.
They might not. And we might see all this in a new Avengers. There's also something with mutants coming up, as well as they're teasing, and the Fantastic Four in 2022. I mean, just years away. It's just, I don't know. I'm just like a kid in the candy store with all this just amazing Marvel. And I really was kind of worried, like from small screen to big screen, because we saw like what they did to the Inhumans with that. But yeah, so I don't know. It's just we just gotta wait and see.
Yeah,
we just gotta wait and see at what wonderful just lies ahead. What wonderful wonders.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to see then. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of WandaVision, if you've seen any of the episodes, which I hope you did, since we did talk about spoilers and stuff. So please put your comments in the comment box below. Feel free to share what you think is gonna happen. And, feel free to give us any feedback on the video itself. So, yeah. Yeah,
and this probably won't be our only video on this, because there are more episodes to come.
Yeah.
So, stay tuned to R&B Reviews.
Yeah. All right. Well, Darren, thanks for taking the time to share your thoughts. And I think we balanced each other out well. You know all about the comic books, and I'm more about the old TV stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for watching, and see you later.
Bye.